Well, Maria, we did support the opportunity to make sure that there was a transition plan here for the roughly 4% of Iowans who depend on the ACA. But I also want to be very clear, we're very committed to making sure we're driving down healthcare costs for every American. That includes, an 11% reduction with a bill that we just passed to help every single person. And I think this is really important because we're coming from a position where, under the Biden era, we were talking about healthcare companies that were making $250 billion to now making $1.4 trillion. That's nearly a 600% increase in what the healthcare companies are taking home. And half of the folks on the ACA aren't even filing claims, meaning that is just taxpayer subsidized money from a COVID-era plan that is going out the door and driving up the cost for everybody's healthcare insurance. So we passed a piece of legislation that I think truly will help all Americans with price transparency. It gets after PBMs, those things that are the middleman for our prescriptions. It also ensures that there's more competition in this space, and it really goes after the crux of the conversation here of helping patients be able to afford their health care in a way that's meaningful. And I would say double-digit reduction in health care costs is a step in the right direction.
No, that is terrific, double-digit numbers. Meanwhile, President Trump participated in a solemn, dignified transfer at Delaware's Dover Air Force Base yesterday, honoring those two Iowa National Guardsmen and a civilian interpreter. All three were killed in the ambush attack in Syria by an ISIS gunman. Congressman, you were at that dignified transfer. You were also part of these anti-ISIS missions in the region while serving in Air Force intelligence. Thank you for your service, sir. Your reaction to yesterday's proceedings?
Well, look, I've been a commander in the Iowa National Guard. These are our brothers and sisters who are consistently on the front line. We have 1,800 Iowa Guardsmen still on mission, both in Syria and across U.S. CENTCOM today. And for Sergeant Torres Tovar and Sergeant Howard, two young men in the prime of their life who could have easily chosen a simpler path, they chose the hard mission of protecting us on the home front by serving on the forward front. And the reality is this: ISIS still remains a very serious threat. We're seeing these Islamic radical attacks happen around the world. But for the sacrifice of these two men, including an interpreter, a third who died, two more who are still in the hospital, we know that our Christmas is safer because of the sacrifice of these individuals. And I've met with the families. We've heard directly from the heroes and the people who stand with them. And I am so proud that not only the president, the secretary joined us, but that Iowa saw firsthand the men who sacrificed their lives so that all of us could have safety here at home were honored in the utmost dignified way, but also in a really solemn and humbling way that even I, as a military officer, still feel blessed to be in the presence of heroes like this.
Absolutely, and may they rest in peace, Congressman. But let me get your take on radical Islam. What are we going to do about radical Islam now?
Well, here's the reality. This type of terrorism continues to be a threat. And the sacrifice that these two individuals gave their life for is so that 350 million Americans can call America a safe place. The challenge is that radical Islam isn't just happening in Syria and the Middle East. It's finding its way to our shores right here in the United States. Tragically, we saw this with another West Virginia National Guardswoman who lost her life due to radicalization happening on our shores. And so this is a tandem effort between, work that we've done in the military, but also domestic law enforcement to really be able to integrate this and recognize that the threat is not destroyed. We have to go after this, we have to be firm on it, and we have to hold the sources of radicalization, even here in the United States, accountable. That's both law enforcement, intelligence, but also what we're doing at the local level to get after this. It's one of the reasons that I'm the chairman of the National Security Task Force, to identify where these threats are and root them out at the source.